Derek and I are going to be doing some weapons defense on what if you're able to grab them. Now, we're not going to, people learn grabbing drills with the knife, and yeah, if you're stronger and you've got a tighter grip and you're securing two hands on his one hand or her one hand, that a lot of times can cause disarms, or at least it keeps you in control of where the knife is going, and hopefully it's not going towards your body. You can redirect or even redirect it to the opponent. The hard part is if somebody's wielding a knife like that and they're stabbing like that, it's near impossible to try to actually grab it with one or two hands. But if I've whacked them a few times, kicked them a few times, elbow, kneed them, hit their weapon-bearing limb, maybe attacked him with my knife or stick, then you have a person that's now fighting like this. Or a person that's drunk in a bar that's just kind of going like this. They still want to cause you harm, but they don't realize how slow they really are going. So in this case here, it may start out where he just pulls a knife out. I might block and just try to struggle, and I'm trying to hold on. But it usually starts with me stopping the action. I blocked it, right? And then I can work on grabbing it or readjusting my hand. Or he may get a stab in, right? Oh, hopefully it's not a major target. And then I react and I hold it. So again, it's a knife fight, just like Muhammad Ali's still gonna get hit in the face, even though he's one of the best, right, in his prime. Derek is a knife fighter. If he's gonna get me, he may get me with quite a few stabs. Hopefully they haven't hit vital targets. Whether they did or not, I still have to react and stop the knife from continuing the action. So in this drill, we've already encountered the fight. The fight might have been going on for a few seconds, and at some point in the fight, I'm able to do a double hand grab, right? So this is grab one, grab two, grab three, grab four, if we're looking at the number system from the Kung Fu. So I have this control. Now, if I lock out my elbows, I have a little bit better control. Now, keep in mind that he can still punch me, he can still kick me, he can even switch hands on the knife. So I want to try to keep it low too so he doesn't release the hand knife and give it to the other hand to stab. But immediately when I grab it, if I grab it high, I want you to immediately, well, before you do that, I want you to immediately slow it down and lower it because he's thinner at the wrist. That allows me to have a meatier grip than me trying to grab his forearm or his biceps, and that doesn't allow him to go here. If I can get at the bottom of his wrist or even grab into the hands, now if he uses his wrist, I've minimized his action. From step one, what we're going to do is we're going to assume that he's going to punch me from that side. I'm going to lift up, and there's my block. Then I simply pull it here, and I can put my hip into him. You can release this hand now. The palm's up, and you're cranking it to a disarm. So the idea is go here. Hopefully he can let go of the hands, right, and I can grab the knife, and now I'm in a good position, right? Or at least he drops, let's say he drops it. The fight's not over. He still is going to shoot for the knife, so I may either reach for the knife quickly or I might just kick it out of the way and run or try to eliminate the person with empty hand. But if we're both going for the knife and he gets the knife back, then it's back to square one. Go ahead and pull the other knife out. Go back to a standard grip and do the movement again. So I blocked it, I positioned it, we're struggling for it, I grabbed it. This time when he does the punch, I still start out the block, but instead of, you pull the hand back now, instead of going with this side, I go over to the opposite side. Hopefully I can turn the thumb down and bend his wrist, and I want to bring this elbow up to my shoulders or chest, and then spin around for a second here. Look what's happening here. See that knife is pounding in. So I'm cranking it here. I can leg sweep him here. I can knee him up in here. But it's hard for him to regain his power when he's past his fall line, meaning the back of his head is past the end of his heel area. So come back and face me, stab again. So just a quick review, he throws the punch. The first one was me just going on the same side shoulder, right, taking the disarm. The second one, I go over here and I continue the motion, stab him in the back, hopefully, if I need to, and take him down. The next one is, what if I don't go to that side? He comes in, I struggled, I've got it. I got to get away from this punch, so I lift it up and I go out the exit door, which is here. Hopefully when you turn toward him, I can bend his elbow enough to do a stab here. If he doesn't bend the elbow and he has it straight, then I go down low, and then I come up high. Now, in this scenario, this is the dull side of the blade, so it looks scary, but it actually didn't hit him. It didn't affect him going up unless it was a double-edged blade. But the first one, hopefully I got a good stab in the kneecap, right? If he bends his arm, it's going to his body. If he doesn't bend his arms, I want to continue lower into this motion here. And I can still go behind him and do a single leg sweep takedown or a C-lock from the back. He switches hands. I've done the struggle, I've hit him, I kicked him a few times, I get a double hand grab, he punches with the other hand, I bring it up right away, I pull it in here, I have my hips down and crank it, I take out the knife hopefully, and then you work it from there. He comes at me, again I've struggled, I've done what I wanted to do, I got lucky and I grabbed him. He throws a punch, I bring it up again, instead of going with this side, I go to the opposite side. If I bend the elbow, I have him in this position here. I go past this fall line, the elbow's tight into my body so it doesn't pull back. And in this case, I may be able to also take it out of his hands, and then you can go from there. Again, force necessary. Is it necessary to kill them? Is it necessary to maim them or hit a vital target? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe you just want to take the knife away and kick it out of the way. Maybe you just want to take the knife away, say have a nice day, stay on the ground, and you take off. So always use force necessary for the situation. But we're talking more of a battle tactics in a enemy situation in a warfare. Real quickly, Derek's going to do it. So he's going to capture my hands with both. He's going to go over here and block my hand and go to the same side shoulder. There's the release from there, or he'll cinch it out of my hand and go from that point. Second drill, he grabs it, he blocks it, he goes over and keeps turning, and then this is a back stab or a takedown or an arm break or an elbow break, right? Because this is going to crank out my shoulders and then elbows. He can also turn that into a gooseneck at any point and break the wrist even more. This time he just shoots up under my armpit and bend it here. If I straighten out the arm, he goes lower, goes for the arm, he cuts it up. If it's a double-edged blade, right? Or he can turn it. Let's try the left hand. He gets lucky, he grabs it. I might have just started pulling out of my pocket and he just grabs it, right? It doesn't have to be me even stabbing him. Then he brings it up, right? Blocks it, cranks it, he has it. Then same thing, I'm going for the knife, he just grabs it and it goes into action. He goes all the way over, right? He's gonna face me and bend the elbow, so face me more. There you go. So you want the knife in the back. And then he's gonna go through the armpit, shoot down, around. If my arm's bent, it stabs me. If it's straight, he goes lower, he cuts up. So practice those drills.